lovely ladies, and thank you for watching. So today we are going to be doing a product review, and today I will be tasting the VICHY DERMABLEND Corrective 16-Hour Fluid for all skin types, and this is in the color Opal 15. Now, I personally don't like drugstore foundation just because I haven't really found one that blew me away, that I didn't find any problems with, but I want to kind of push my own boundaries. So I went to Clicks and I was looking for a foundation, and I obviously saw this one. I thought I was going to give it a go. It's only 290 Rand from Clicks, and they promise a lot with this foundation. So it comes in a little tube like this. It is 30 mils, which is quite a decent size, and it also comes with some instructions, which most foundations don't. So let me quickly just read what they say about this foundation, and maybe this could make us understand what's supposed to happen before we use it. Okay, so it says uneven skin tone, dark circles, it diffuses redness. On application, DERMABLEND's supple texture becomes fluid on contact with the skin. The formula contains coated pigments in a concentration of 25%, twice as much as a traditional foundation, to provide a high coverage finish without over thickening the texture. So it's full coverage, promising that you don't have to put it on too thick. It is highly pigmented. All day long, the pigments that are perfectly affinity with the skin provide a 16-hour hold. Instantly, skin concerns are perfectly concealed. Complexion is even and radiant. Skin feels supple and comfortable for 16 hours. The directions is apply a small amount of foundation on the back of your hand and warm the texture with your fingertips using small circular movements, and then dab the product with fingertips from the center of the face outwards, an even and quick application. Reapply directly to effective areas for maximum coverage. So they're saying that it is buildable, and then blend. Okay, so tested on all skin types, allergy tested, and it says that it has hydration for 24 hours, and it's SPF 35. Okay, so that is pretty much the overview of this VICHY DERMABLEND, and let's start. So I'm going to decant a tiny amount on this see-through coaster, just to show how much product I am actually going to be using and how full coverage it is, because I don't want to put a lot of foundation on my skin. I want to really taste the pigmentation. So I'm going to only decant a small bit on there, and then I'm going to use my fingers just because they say that that's the best way. Personally, I don't like it, but I will follow their directions. So I am going to put pretty much that much and see how far we can get with about this little bit. Okay, so I am going to first put it on the back of my hand just to warm it up, like they said, and start from the inside outwards. And it's not thick. It doesn't really have a gel substance. It feels like liquid, and I can see this is very pigmented. I'm not actually used to putting this little bit on and getting this much coverage. So I'm warming it up and I'm working it in, dabbing it into my face. Wow, this covers really well. And I'm going to do first half just so that we can see the difference. It does dry quite quickly. And it looks like it's going to dry fluid to powder. So a little bit more, warm it up on my hand. It has a matte finish to it, which I'm not used to. I don't really like matte finishes for my foundations because my skin is quite dry. It tends to dry it out more. This did say that it's for all skin types and that it actually has hydration in it. But it is a little bit on the dry side than what I'm used to. Okay, I'm just gonna build in where I feel I need more. See how it builds. So with a foundation that dries to a powder finish, a matte finish, you have to make sure that you exfoliate your skin and that you moisturize your skin excessively way before you apply your foundation, just to make sure that your skin doesn't totally dry out and flake. If you have a skin that is already very dry and flaky, I wouldn't recommend any foundation that has a matte finish. It will just exacerbate your problem skin. First get your skin under control and then you can venture more into the matte finishes. I have a very dry skin, but I have it under control. I have my moisturizers, I go for my regular facials. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go in with the beauty blender and I think just blend out any streaks caused by my fingers. And I wanna see what happens with the product if I do use a beauty blender. I like the thin fluid. It helps you control how much you put on because it moves so freely. On my blemish. Okay, so let me get my hair out of my face so we can see the difference. So that is the difference. I definitely like how full coverage it is without it feeling very heavy. It literally feels like my medium to sheer coverage foundation. That's how little I put on. And as you can see, there's still a little bit left on, and I did the whole half of my face and I went in to layer it up as well. So it a little bit goes a long way with this product. It is very full coverage. It covered a lot of my freckles and all my redness. It has that powder finish. It did go into my pores just a little bit, where that's exactly what matte foundations do. They do go and seep into your pores, which I'm not a big fan of, but I would definitely use this for a night out where I want super full coverage. I'm very impressed, to be really honest. For 290 Rand, I'm very impressed with the pigmentation, and they have some really good ingredients in here to help your skin as well. So I'm going to do the other half and then just play around with it a little bit, and then I will give you my verdict when I am done. Okay, so I finished the other half, and as I was working it in, I realized the more I was touching it and moving it around, the more it kind of just wiped off my skin. And I think that's what I did wrong on this side, because this side has a lot more coverage than this side. This side has a little bit of a open space there, and I think it was the beauty blender that picked up the product and didn't put it back. This dries so quickly, so actually I don't have time to go in with the beauty blender after. It sets that quickly. So I would suggest when you're using this to go liberal and to finish blending immediately, and don't go over and over, blend and blend, which I'm so used to with my foundations. It doesn't set immediately. I actually have to set it with powder, and this sets so quickly. And I used really the smallest amount, but I kind of just went in very quickly, and I can see a difference. I can see that it's definitely so even, and here I have a little bit of pretty much where the beauty blender kind of wiped it off. So beauty blender does not work very well with this foundation. Your fingers do, just like the instructions did say that. I'm guessing as soon as the formula cools down, it sets, and that's why they want you to heat it up with your fingers and work it in with your fingers to warm up the product. So I am not gonna set this with powder because this is already very dry and very matte, and they did not mention anything about setting it with powder, so I'm not. I actually want to see if it's gonna last 16 hours like they say without tasting it. It's already dry. I am very curious now to see how I can apply makeup on top of this layer, like my blush, my highlighter and my bronzer, where I'm actually buffing it into the skin. I'm quite curious to see if the brush will pick up the foundation just like the beauty blender did, and if it's completely dry you can actually put makeup on top of it. So I'm gonna finish the rest of my face like I would with any of my foundations, just I won't be going in with powder first. I will not be using any powder. So let's see how this performs and I'll let you know. So I'm just using my MAC matte bronzer like I always do, and I try to keep everything exactly the same just to really give the foundation the benefit of the doubt. So I'm starting on the side that I applied the foundation first, just to make sure that it is completely dry. Okay, so that is the bronzer done. And to be honest, I can't see that it moved the foundation under the bronzer much. It did completely dry. So it looks about the same as what it would have if I put powder on. It doesn't look too patchy either. But before I continue, I think I want to taste this even more. I want to go back in with the foundation and just put it on this cheek where I can see the Beauty Blender picked up the color. I want to see how it reacts if I go in with the foundation after it already dried, before I do my blush, just to see if I can correct the mistakes. I'm using the tiny amount, and I'm just gonna go in exactly there where I need it. Okay, so it's definitely, it is buildable. It completely covered that patch. And I'm just gonna go back in under this eye, just for a little bit more coverage. See, I need a bit there. That's really nice, like it goes to powder so quickly. It sets so quickly, so before my face gets time to crease, it's already dry, which I haven't seen this in a foundation yet that I've tried. Okay, so while that's drying, let me go in with my highlighter and my blush. It is definitely not moving the product around, the foundation around. Okay, so final thoughts. I think for the price of it, I think it's very cost effective. It does deliver on the promise of being very full coverage. It really is. I didn't have to put on a thick layer, so this bottle or this tube is gonna last quite a long time. So that is definitely a plus point. It sets on its own, so you don't need additional powder. It is a bit dry. It is quite dry, more dry than I thought it would be, but that's just personal preference. I like a little bit more of a dewy look, but it's fantastic for evening. I think it's going to blur any flashes and you're just going to look flawless the whole night. I really hope that this gave you insight into possibly purchasing this yourself, and I will be definitely bringing a lot more products, reviewing a lot more products. I love to do this for you guys. Everything I use is in the description below. Please subscribe, ring the bell, because I'll be back very soon.